For now, Nigerians have until January 19 to link their NIN to their SIM or face being disconnected from their networks. If this happens, it will no doubt have telling ripple effects for the economy. According to figures from the National Bureau of Statistics, the telecom sector has contributed 31.8 trillion naira to the country's gross domestic product. Now, in third quarter 2020, it contributed about 17.36% to Nigeria's GDP, making it one of the best performing sectors in a quarter when the country fell into recession. If millions of subscribers are blocked, it is possible that the sector might contract further in the turn of the year. But here is Mr. Adeolu Ogubanjo, President, National Association of Telecom Subscribers, to tell us what his association thinks about this. Thank you very much, sir, for coming on the show, and Happy New Year to you. It's been a while. Good to see you.
Happy New Year.
So tell me, what's the You're welcome. What's the position of your association in this whole thing, registration and linking of NIN?
Thank you very much. Linking with NIN is very good because NIN is actually the only means of identification that cannot be faked.
Okay, please. I think we just have to take a quick break, and we'll be back in a moment. Welcome back. Well, Mr. Kumanjo, you were talking about the fact that, yes, linking the SIM to NIN is the right way.
It's the right way. Well, partly because, one, it cannot be faked because you can fake driver's license, you can issue a fake passport, you can also issue a fake voter's card. But because NIN is centrally generated, it cannot be faked. You know, it's from the central registry. It cannot be faked. And two, because they now are looking at security of Nigerians. You know, but by the time you just type my name, you know, everything about me should pop up. That is what developed nations have, and that is what we want to achieve. But is this the time to do that? Particularly when COVID times are here. Yeah. The second wave is here. We are, you know, having too many issues on the front burner. So the time is not now. It shouldn't be now to do these linkages because a lot of things will be, you know, very, very bad.
So looking at the first deadline was 2 weeks. Then it was shifted to 6 weeks, January 19th. Now is the new deadline. Do you see this being extended?
Definitely. In fact, we must appeal to the Minister for Communication and Digital Economy to please, we are pleading, so that Nigerians will not have COVID, you know, second wave, upsurge. I mean, we are pleading for 6 months. 6 months, because you must temper justice with mercy. Yes, on one hand, you want to secure Nigerians, but when you want to secure Nigerians, you don't want them, you know, they want to be secured to die off. So, COVID second wave is here. For over 2 weeks now, since this directive started, in fact, one may say that it is because of all this, you know, crowding at the centers for NIN registration. You might even, you know, allude that that is what is causing the upsurge, because in the last 2-3 weeks that this thing has been on, cases have always been over 1,000 cases every day. And what can be the cause, if not this?
Now, if you talk about 6 months now, is that still enough? Shouldn't we be talking about, okay, when we're able to actually curb the spread of this virus, which, of course, for now, we really don't know. And then if I would take you back to what you said earlier, that this is not coming at the right time. I remember that the minister had said that this directive was actually given since 2020. That should be sometime in February. 2020. But I think the argument that 2020, I mean, that February, that was when even the COVID started.
Yeah.
Precisely. Most Nigerians are not even aware of the February deadline. I mean, the February the minister was talking about. Most people did not, I mean, we were not aware. But now, because of that, you now came up in December and said 2 weeks initially. I'm saying, in fact, 6 months in the first instance. You look at when the SIM registration, when there was no COVID, no nothing. That was about 4 or 5 years back or something. Initially, it was 3 months, 6 months. 6 months became 1 year. 1 year became 2 years and even more. So I think, you know, in the first instance, if you just for us to, you know, be aware and to get to the centers, in the first instance, 6 months. But there shouldn't be actually a time limit.
Okay, so
there shouldn't be a time limit
maybe
for now
like a whole
because
year
of
or something.
COVID. For now, because people are getting COVID infected day in, day out. Cases are rising, and it is from these centers. Right. So the minister should be appealed to please shelve this for now.
So as an association,
Yes.
what kind of conversations are you having with the government and mobile operators?
Fortunately, Channels TV had brought my very self and the chairman, Association of Licensed Telecommunications Operators of Nigeria, Engineer Adebayo. We were here together. I mean, he was on Skype. I was in the studio. Yeah. And it was discussed. Of course, because government had directed the operators to do it, he was saying that they will do whatever that is possible. They are trying, you know, ensuring that all their experience centers are, you know, sort of registration centers in a way. And NIMC has also opened some of these other centers here and there. But beyond that is the fact that it is not sufficient. Only 40-something million, as of 2 weeks ago, has been registered. Maybe another 2, 3, 4 million now. We still have over 120 million left.
Now, still taking it from that question, my colleague had asked you the conversation you've had with the government and the operators. Now, one will think we are talking about leveraging on technology. Yes. ICT is the way to go. And this is all about technology. So I am wondering, during this COVID time, shouldn't people actually sit, you know, in the comfort of their homes and be able to do this online? Perhaps an NIMC could generate a website where people can, you know, go to and deal with this rather than flocking to their offices. I mean, I thought that should be the kind of conversation and suggestions that associations such as yours could also give to the government.
Thank you very much. Engineer Adebayo, in the last interview we had here at Channels, also said that they were going to, you know, ensure that some applications, you know, emerge for this registration. But beyond that, even when forms are sent to your email to print, and you print and fill at home, and then you take it to the center, the NIMC people will say no.
That's the point. I mean, do we really have to go to that center? Do people really have to go there? I mean, there are people, when you consider, look at, how do you even quantify telecom subscribers?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you have even children have their lines, precisely. Okay, we have old people. So do you expect those people to flock to the center? So I don't know, shouldn't you be having such conversation? How do you bring in those of them in the rural areas?
Sincerely, I must tell you that even the ones that we think is easy, printing of forms, when you send to your email, you now print it and fill at home and just take it to the center so that at least that is easing the process in a way. The officers will say, sorry, you have to take their own form. And it's the same thing. I printed, I saw everything. It's the same everything. And they are saying they still have to give you their own.
Have you raised this issue with any of the government officials, those that are making this policy?
Well, I normally attend to them. I normally face them. They will dismiss me and say, Baba, this is what we are told to do. And what then do I do?
Have you spoken to the minister about this? Have you made suggestions to the minister?
Well, this was on Monday, so because they actually resumed.
So do you have intention of doing
Definitely, we are going to escalate to the minister and the NCC CEO, Professor Dambata.
So looking at the BVN-generated NIN numbers, now there's a new directive now for you to go and verify that if you had a BVN-generated NIN, you have to go and verify it at the office. That's a new development now. What's that about?
First, road safety is also joining now.
Yeah.
And saying that if you don't have your NIN, you can't even do your driver's license anymore. So everything is now, loaded with NIN. Quite honestly and sincerely, I must tell you that these things are coming rather too much. They should space these things. It should be spaced. Government must not, just start loading us with instructions and policies that may not be workable as soon as they wanted it.
Yeah.
It should take time. They must understand that we are so many, over 120 million still to go. And February 19, that is the deadline. Or is it 9 or 19? And I don't know how many they have done. The minister should understand that, and the NCC CEO must understand that this cannot work. They have to at least extend it for the next 6 months. It has to be.
All right. Okay, now, still talking about the BVN and NIN, I saw something in the news today, government saying, or rather, NIMC saying you cannot, the BVN or the NIN linked to the BVN, it's, you have to
come and
verify it. You have to get to their office to verify. But I'm just wondering, if I didn't register, okay, for NIN, and then I have a BVN, I'm just wondering how the banks were able to get an NIN because...
And generated, yeah.
Exactly, because I have, spoken to some people who say, okay, they have, I think a code, once you have a BVN, you have to dial something and then you get an NIN number, even when you did not, register the appropriate way you're supposed to register. So where is that coming from? So I'm just wondering, if you've been meeting with both telecom operators and the government, where is this coming from?
I'm sure, with the benefit of hindsight, I'm sure that the BVN must have been having its roots or source from the Nigerian Identity Management Commission, because you cannot generate something like that without, referring to...
So if that is happening, so if you're able to get your BVN...
Don't know.
No, if you're able to get NIN from your BVN, why would NIMC now insist you have to come
and verify?
To verify.
Perhaps because, there are some biometrics involved, your face and all that. Maybe that's the verification process. And
so they don't have enough data.
They don't have enough details and data about
But
yourself.
even your SIM has some biometrics there. We've done all of this, SIM
registration.
SIM registration and all of that.
Even driver's license, you also have all this.
Absolutely. So shouldn't that, suffice?
In a way, they are trying to harmonize all these sources of data collection. So this is the time they now want to, centralize passport, what do you call it now? Voters card, all of them. This is a time they now want to, centralize them and make it one. But they should not rush. It will affect the health of the people. And we are in COVID-19 pandemic times. They should take it easy and be slow. The minister must be appealed to please at least an initial 6 months extension, and in fact, give us some, time to do it.
Okay. Now, 2020, of course, was a challenging year for, everyone. So for you, as an association, well, we are the subscribers. So
he's our president, right?
Exactly, you are representing us. So,
so.
But for you as an association, of telecom subscribers, what was most challenging, for you?
In fact, there hasn't been much, excepting that, during the year, a number of positive things came up in the telecom sector. Telecoms, started being double-digit GDP, and in fact, the telecom sector has been doing very well. So for the telecom sector, it's been wonderful for the economy, But only in the very dying moments of the last quarter, when this came, linking with NIN and all that, that actually messed up a number of things for subscribers, and it is still messing it up. So there hasn't been much, actually, in the last, 2020, except positive this thing for the economy and business. Again, the only other challenge was the fact that there are a lot of job losses. And it is because in the telecom sector, it is because banks are now taking over the sale of SIM cards. The sale of recharge cards.
Okay.
Rather than leave our people to start selling and at least get something. So banks should lay off their hands and face their core business, and there isn't much job. Yes.
The convenience of buying.
Exactly, because
you will see them here and there.
No, you can't just, walk up and down, start scratching cards.
I remember when last time I scratched.
Give our traders some time to at least do the selling. Banks shouldn't be selling recharge cards. Leave it so that people can be gainfully employed.
Anyway, what's your outlook for 2021 for the sector?
Well, I would want a situation where, first and foremost, this is extended. This NIN linking with your SIM is extended. As well as ensuring that, for God's sake, the NCC should visit the underserved areas of Nigeria and ensure that the infrastructure provision for, the infracos, that is the people providing the infrastructure for telecoms, go to the rural areas so that they can also get the benefit of trading in telecoms. They should go to the underserved areas, the rural areas, and ensure that people there are also engaged, because the moment they go there, take their mobile, their mass there, it encourages business growth.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Ogunbanjo, for your time. We do appreciate it, as always.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, we take a break, and then when we come back, we cross over to London, and of course, we look at what happened at the market here in our local market. Just stay with us.